Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD. It is March 25th. Holy crap. How is a quarter of the year already gone? I'm getting too old for this crap. Oh my gosh, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you got to play some games or at least to do something relaxing. I got to help plant plants in the front yard. I have learned in my old age I do not like playing in the mud. However, my wife absolutely enjoys it, so she had some fun. I dug holes. We called it a win. And then we literally spent like 10 hours driving all over creation. However, I did get I got some new to me game stuff. I got some old RPG books. I got a couple of new I got a new game at the used bookstore at a used anyways, it was whatever. It was cheap. Anyways, so hey Hungar, good morning, buddy. Anyway, so overall it was a good weekend. Kids came over for dinner last night, got to play some board games with them. Although it wasn't the greatest experience, but it wasn't necessarily the kids' fault. It was we were struggling with the game. Anyways, but it was good. It was fun. I had a great weekend, and so now I'm back because it's Monday, and we got Mage Leader, we got Sixth World, we got Hungar. Holy crap, we got everybody in here. Well, okay, we got 3 people, but I'm grateful that all of you showed up. So welcome. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. You know what? I cannot get my brain locked in this morning. I was even struggling just to get to. And we got Nerd. Hello. I was struggling just to get myself to go online. So, but it's Monday. I gotta do it. I've got a reputation at this point. So, anyways, we're gonna do a couple of things today. I've got Harlequin and Aina to paint up. These are good old-fashioned. Oh, interesting, actually. Okay. I just learned something. All right, so here's the package that they came in. Copyright 1991. It also says this product contains lead and should not be chewed or swallowed. So I was very excited. I'm like, oh, these are like super old miniatures. And then I literally just noticed on the bottom here. I'm not sure if let's see if we can focus in on it. Yeah. Copyright 1996. So these are most likely pewter. So I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that I'd get my lead poisoning for the day. Anyways, so but I did find these. If you weren't here on Friday, when I went to Dice Tower West, there was a lady with who used to have a game store back in the 90s. And so she had a whole bunch of just like this old stuff. And I'm like, I gotta grab these. Exactly. Led by example. Oh, all right. Spits the old Ral. Yeah. Sixth World. I love you, man. You're great. Oh, I suppose I should get my paints too. That is the one downside for making this shift over to the Monument Hobbies paints is I got their carrying case dealy. but it don't really has a good place. Anyway, so that's where I have to get all my paints out. We'll just tuck it into a corner over here, sort of. It'll work, I promise. And then also I have to finish up Mundo's miniature, which, as you can tell, is almost done. In my amateurish style, I was trying to go for like some layered grays, and it wasn't quite working. It still looks kind of black, so I think I'm just going to go in with some gray over top and work on it. All right, so what do I have left to do on Harlequin? Well, obviously we've got to come in and paint his face white because it is Harlequin. We then have to put the red on the they're probably called something, but the diamonds over his eyes. There's probably like some opera term or something for it that I am not aware of. But I'm not going to go too crazy with the guy because, let's be honest, it's a Partha. I think these are like true 28 millimeter as well. So, definitely got some age in there. So let's see here. Where's that red? I need to do a little bit of cleanup on that. And hold on one second, folks. I don't know why. I answer calls that aren't in my caller ID. Don't ask me why. Like, I won't answer the ones that come up like scam likely, But it's something normal from a local area code. Sure, let me check it out. And it's never good. I mean, okay, it wasn't bad, but I mean, it was like somebody calling from an air conditioner company or something, which, it's Arizona. It's the end of March. This is the time to get your air conditioning tuned up. But like seriously, does anybody actually respond well to telemarketing anymore? Or have we all just gotten to the point where we just hang up? Because that's what I do. I answer, but then I don't even say anything. I just hang up. I think the only reason that I still answer is that, maybe it's somebody from church, or maybe it's a doctor's office or something. Of course, I had no doctor's appointment scheduled or anything else. But anyways, that's me. And it didn't pop scam likely, so I figured maybe. But no. I could have just let it go. Anyways. so it was crazy this weekend. So we had a crate of like books, CDs, all sorts of stuff. And we've got this decent used bookstore in town. They carry everything. They carry board games, they carry role-playing games, they carry, like, they don't really carry miniatures, but like occasionally like they'll carry like if somebody brings them a box of Warhammer. Hi, Bear. If somebody brings them a box set, unopened or maybe opened but nothing clipped off, maybe they'll take that in. And I'm looking around and like I don't look at the books, or like, let me rephrase that. I don't look at like novels or cookbooks or any like it's a bookstore. All I look at is what's in the gaming section. And I swear, holy crap, what color did I even use on his pants? I don't think I used black. This will be interesting. Anyway, so I go in now. As you all know, and especially with Bear here in the chat, we've been playing Star Trek on Bear's channel for a few months now, which we don't get to play this week when I actually have time. It's okay, Bear. I understand what you're doing and why. But I also know that Bear is a huge fan of Trek. And while I'm not a huge fan of like the role-playing game because I never played it, I did get to play the Starship battle game at some point. And like the only way I can describe it is that I think somebody died. Because like they've always actually got a decent selection of role-playing stuff, but it doesn't seem to shift very much. Like, you'll have a little bit of new stuff, a little bit more old stuff, and it just kind of like more or less stays the same. Well, within the last like week, because like they have their, like they put their own price tags on it, and then the price tag has a date, which I'm guessing is either the date that it was processed, because it probably wasn't the date it was received. Because like, they'll end up with like piles of stuff behind the counter. And so, putting a date on it based on when it was received, well, if you haven't evaluated it and figured out what you're going to sell it for, you can't really can't really put a date on it. So my guess is when it got processed. And so all of this stuff, and I mean, it was 30 Star Trek RPG modules, like the old FOSSA Trek. So like 30 of those. And I found one module, which I didn't care about the module, but it was written by our own Blaine Lee Pardo. And so I'm like, I'm gonna grab this one. It was like $4, maybe $10, whatever. It was nice and cheap. I'm like, I'm gonna get this one. And but of course I did have to send pictures over to Bear and ask if he was looking for anything, and there were actually a couple of things that he was interested that happened to be in the pile. But also looking around, there were like 40 copies of the Rifter magazine and not a ton of Palladium stuff beyond the Rifter, but it was like I saw Rifter issue 1. Yeah, so it was clearly an extensive collection. Like the only thing I could think of is that like somebody had to have died. And the family's just like, meh, it's all books, take it over to Bookman's. Good enough. And then they probably got reamed on the resale. Which I don't blame Bookman's for. I mean, they gotta make money, and who knows how long some of that's gonna sit on their shelves and collect dust. But it was crazy. Wow. I think I need to turn some of these lights down. You can barely see some of this. So yeah, it was now it feels too dark. Eventually I will figure out a decent system for this. I have decided, though, I am going to sell a bunch of company stock and do well, to me, it will be a major it will feel like a major upgrade. But in reality, it's not going to be much, but I have an idea to give myself a little bit more room. Basically extend the table. I want to be able to put like a whole, so like here's fully zoomed out. I get about 18 by 12 inches. So there. My hands, that's the 18 inches. Here's the 12 inches. But I want to be able to go at least about 20 inches deep. I'm probably just going to make it 2 feet by about 3 feet wide, because I want to be able to fit game boards on the table. I want to be able to fit honestly, I want to fit a BattleTech map on the table. I also need to look at a new camera lens for my DSLR, so that I can zoom out or in more properly. Let's see here. I don't want the same red as his coat for his diamonds and his lips, because he does have red lipstick on. So I'm just going to go with some nice bold Pyrrole red. Oh, sure. Bear, don't worry about it. It was totally fine. Although I am tempted to find, it's like, what else can I trade in to the used bookstore and not get a decent return on? So I can go get more of it. Without having to pay cash for. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Of course, actually, I am totally going. Chicken? Shut up! I don't know if any of you can hear that chicken. And actually, okay, that's fine using some bright red, because it'll tone down once I wash it. Okay, I need more light. Anyway, so you know what? Let's do this, because I think this will look cool. We're going to take a little... No worries, Bear. I just do it so that if I'm not talking, people don't think that the stream is dead or something. And technically, you're working anyways. So I normally don't paint eyes, but I figured just put some dark gray to actually hit the eye. So nope, that was not dry enough. We're gonna have to come back to that. Yeah, I never played it either. I just played the Starship Simulator, which was decent. The downside is that there wasn't a Starship Simulator turned in. So, because I would have totally like, there was a book for the Starship Simulator, but it was the thing is there's at least two books, I think. I need to do a little bit more research. If I can get away with just one book, if I can just get the one book, then I'd probably do it. And my suspicion is that the second book is just like the pre-made ships for you to play with. which in that case, I mean, fine. Because, like, unfortunately, I was looking at it and getting getting the box game is not going to be cheap. So maybe I'll go back and just get the rule book. Because, like, I've got Renegade Legion, I've got Battle Space, so I've got access to space maps. And then I could just, like, 3D print Star Trek miniatures. Like, a friend of mine got all sorts of Star Trek stuff and just printed the heck out of it. Like full-on fleets for pretty much all Star Trek factions. So I know the ship models are out there. And yes, I realize I could just go play, like, Starfleet battles or something, but something about the nostalgia factor. Like, it was crazy. Like, so Kim was with me at Steven! Good morning, sir. Sorry I've been a disappointment, buddy. Kim was with me, and, like, you know how it is, like, when you're shopping and it's no big deal and you're having conversations and you're just kind of browsing, but, like, my ADHD, like, hyper focused out of nowhere, and the only thing that I could think of was going through these Star Trek books, figuring out what's there, what do I want to pick up, what can I pass on, what's worth it, what's not worth it. Like, to the point, she asked me something, like, about my brother. And I literally had to just stop and, like, literally tell her, hey, I need you to be patient with me because my brain is not processing right now. And she literally looked at me, she's like, do you have too many tabs open? I'm like, yes, I do. So it was absolutely a hot mess of an experience. It was weird. I didn't like it. But it was absolutely not anything that I was going to be able to control. So it was a wild experience. Brownie, shut up. But eventually I kind of got over it, but it was just, it was a strange experience. But seriously. Oh, she has plenty of food, Six World. I guarantee you, these chickens own my backyard. They get all bugs and grass and weeds, and yeah, apparently chickens like weeds. Feast on the poor thing. I thought you said, sorry, that was Steven that said feast on the poor thing. No, Kim, but that's not what she said. No, what she's doing right now is what's called an egg song. So hens will lay an egg, and then they'll go somewhere far away from where they laid the egg, and they'll just make all sorts of ruckus. And the point is basically to lure any predators away from the egg, because obviously, protection of the species. The interesting thing is that the chicken that's doing it literally used to be the quiet chicken. Like, she made no noise at all. And then a few weeks ago, when we had a chicken die, who was basically head of the pecking order. All right, those are kind of sloppy, but I'm going to go back in and touch it up with some white paint. Now I got two chickens going on. Anyways, the one that was the head of the pecking order, she died, and this one that's going off right outside the window, she started speaking up, which was weird, because again, she's been quiet for like 4 years. So it's been an interesting few weeks. Actually, give me a sec, folks. All right. Sorry about that. Now I'm getting paranoid. Because we've got another chicken that the wife thinks is going to keel over. And oh, I forgot I need to do the lips. So with 2 chickens going off, that's the funny thing. So yes, the chicken was silenced, but not by what you're implying. Like usually if you go out, like get within like if you get within like 5 feet of them, they'll usually just stop and they're done. But yeah, no fresh chicky nuggies for dinner. But anyways, so we've got one that my wife thinks is sick and not doing well. So one chicken was going off, then another chicken was going off. So it's like, are they all freaking out because a chicken died or something? I don't know. So that's why I went to check. Because if I just ignored it.
You know the expression life finds a way.
Hold on, I'm getting a chick. This just in, folks. Chicken update from Mrs. Gaming with ADHD.
No, it's the cardigan. There's some of these flowers that I planted last year. They're popping up in the concrete bricks.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then there's like some kind of onion or something that's popping up in that garden. It's just like, I didn't even plant anything. At least I didn't think I planted it.
Never mind, folks. Apparently nothing to do with chickens. It's just random plants growing in the yard.
And there were 3 eggs. That's why they were all yellow.
Anyways, and we've got 3 butt nuggets. Yes, we call them butt nuggets. It makes us laugh.
How about butt breakfast?
Chickens, the pet that poops breakfast.
Unless they just die.
Chickens, the most... Six World, I'm not following your logic there, sir. I mean, chickens kind of stop random plants from growing in the yard. Because chickens, like I said, I learned yesterday that that some types of weeds chickens will eat. And I started thinking about it. Now, they're not gone, but there's not a ton of weeds in the backyard. Also, it's Arizona, so we have a rock yard with a patch of grass as opposed to just straight grass yards. But in the rocks, there's not a ton of weeds. And then, hey, Mundo. And Major Leader, you're not wrong. Sometimes chicks do love their weed. Anyhow, owning chickens is just weird. Like the things that you learn, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But then you learn it, and it seems to be just like a perfectly normal thing for chickens. And you're like, all right, dude, whatever. That's not bad. All right, let's do this. Just pull a little highlight. On some of these exposed areas. So, anyways, that was my weekend. I'm excited to dig through those Star Trek books. I'm not kidding. I am like beyond tempted to find stuff that like, yeah, I could get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And just come home with just like, it's literally a stack like that thick. And it's just old school Star Trek modules. I don't need them. I would probably never do anything with them. But man, is it tempting. Actually, now that I think about it, a stupid pick of lamb broken arm, and now I'm remembering why I hated that meat. I'm sorry. I am not a fan of Iron Wind metal stuff. Okay, there is the nostalgia factor for this miniature. This is an old Partha miniature. Yes, I know Iron Wind Metal still makes these. But also, this is a single pose model. It's flat. It's, there's no assembly required. So I'm not really losing anything or risking a whole lot. But just some of the Battletech, like, it just, the Pico really makes you question that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be so harsh to them. I don't necessarily think they deserve that. But I don't know. It's like to me, like, so the interest of painting up these two models is partly because they are the old models. But like, there's nothing stopping Ironwind from commissioning new sculpts. There's nothing that says that they can only cast the old models. And yes, I realize that they have done some new stuff. I'm not saying they haven't done any since they took over the Ral Partha production. I don't know. They just look goofy. I like the Catalyst sculpts. For the most part. I mean, they are also different because of the fact that they're plastic instead of metal, so the detailing is going to be different. And yes, considering the audience, I understand the concerns with Catalyst. It's a very trust me when I say it's a very interesting position to be in. When you recognize the problems, but like, you also don't, like, I don't want to root for someone to fail. Especially when I have literal friends at the company. So yeah, anyways. That is, I think, the problem with that Six World, because you're not wrong. I think the problem with that is just literally the whole Ill Clan era redesign project. Whereas in the past, it was always, kind of piecemeal. You got Tech Readout 3025, 3050, 3055, 3058, 3060, 3067, 75, 85, 3145, 3150. So it's like, you got, see, I'm just proving I got cred. Don't know what it's worth, but I got it. But they were put out in different years, so you had different artists, you had different line developers, you had different project managers, so you end up with different looks, different styles. Remember like 3025, 3055, 3058 were all Dwayne loose. Dwayne did every single design. And let's be honest, if you look at 3025, or if you look at those books, they all look the same. And then, but 3050 has a very different look than the Dwayne Loose books. So it's, but like with Ill Clan, my understanding is a lot of the work was done by Scroggins. A lot of the people that were not Scroggins, it's like, okay, here's the design style that we're going with. And so they essentially replicated Scroggins. Oh, Nerds Nerd. You know what? I don't normally do it on Painstream. I'm going to highlight that one. 40 years of changes in design philosophy versus 4 years. Exactly. They took pretty much the entire quote unquote product line. By product line, I just mean the mech designs, and redid all of it at the same time. Bam. You're going to get, like they all have a very, very similar look, like they came out of the same factory. I agree. I like them. I think it's overall a better design than we had in the past. And that's not to crap on any of the old artists. But even the old artists, like I was doing the retro flip throughs of the Dwayne Loose tech readouts. So I'm like, you know what? I think it would be fun to talk to him. And he wasn't interested in it. He's like, nope, that's in my past. Go talk to the new guys. I was like, but I want to talk to you specifically because of your past. Yeah, dude, Steven, I completely agree. I like the new models. I mean, come on, how many have I painted on stream? I like the new designs. I respect where it came from, especially because it, that is a lot of my gaming past. But I like what they did, but I have to agree with Nerds Nerd in that it's trying to it's compressing 40 years of design philosophy into 4 years. Nerds Nerd says, the redesigns are the only thing that let me enjoy the game. I just couldn't care if my derpy mechs won or died because I hated how they all looked. Now I stand Battletech hard. That's fair. When I did my reviews of the mechs, I tried to be very fair about them. All right. I know it doesn't seem like much, but I'm essentially going to call this guy done. I mean, we got to wash him. And luckily, pretty much everything's dry, so I can. But, for me, the thing that I like about... All right, there's some mid-brown. I kind of like that one now. And some strong tone. What was I gonna say? I'm like I try to be honest. Like when I did all the reviews and would look back at like the art and how does the new art compare to the classic art and changes that they've made. And it's very, very interesting to see where it's come. Actually, I am annoyed, although I understand. But I had a sweet hookup coming for like all of the new stuff so that I could do reviews. Why? Because a friend of mine backed Mercenaries at the Kickstarter level, or at the Kerensky level. So I had a Kerensky in my pocket. I'm not just happy to see you. I'm sorry. But I found out this weekend that this guy, and I'm only going to point this out just because I do think it is relevant. So he and I do not line up very well politically. Although he's a good friend. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bust on him for that. But I point that out because typically those who I don't align with politically tend to give Catalyst a lot more leeway. As far as like some of the shenanigans that have gone on recently. But let's just say that Catalyst even pissed this guy off to the point that he asked for a refund on his Kerensky pledge. And so he's no longer in the secret club. I don't have access to the goings on in the Kerensky Discord. And I won't be able to get a sweet trade for all of his duplicate stuff that he's not going to need. So while I understand, I am a little annoyed because I was getting very excited about that. But yeah, like he like I asked if he'd seen any of this stuff, or I asked if he'd gone to Kerensky Con, and he's like, nope. So I was like, well, that's lame. Well, that's the funny thing is that, like, so I can't join the online hate mob for Catalyst. I just can't. I have things I don't like. I think they are going in directions that I don't think are going to be good for the product line or the company in general, I should say. But again, I have literal friends that work there, and friends that I disagree with very heavily on stuff. But I can't be that guy. Can't. So I will speak a little bit more quietly. Things like that. Hey, Christopher, how you doing, sir? I will maybe be a little less excited about products. Oh, that's working. That's working well. So right here, I took some dark tone wash and like super thinned it out. But it's giving me just enough tone on the face. Oh, I'm really liking that. I got to get some good pictures of this guy. It always amazes me when I get to the point where it's like, hey, this is basically done. Hey, this doesn't suck. What is going on? Hey, Six World, I'm not entirely sure I agree with you on the urban mech lamb because it's kind of funny, but anyways, have a great day, sir. Good to see you. Yes, I have. Maybe from the hilt. Maybe. I mean, I have this little guy. I need a better one. I need a lot of better things. Maybe I should just stop buying stuff at the used bookstore instead. But, you know. All right, we're going to set Harlequin off to the side. I actually need to look something up real quick. Shadowrun. Aina Dupree is a mysterious elven woman with dark skin and white hair of indeterminate age. Dupree. Oh, come on. How is there no image of this? Well, No, I knew you meant a lazy Susan, Chris. I so mine, like it's a little motorized one, and so it just goes and it's a much more consistent speed. Okay, that doesn't help me either. I literally went looking for a... Like, literally all it says is dark-skinned with white hair. So is it black skin? Is it like brown skin? Is it... Okay, you know what? Screw it. This is what we're going to do. All right. So here's the model. Who else thinks... Here, let me get it a little closer and focus it. Who else thinks that this essentially looks like Grace Jones? Like, if she were an elf. So, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. It is... She's going to get brown skin, but we're going to give her white eyes. Got a little bit of white over here. And I can be sloppy at the moment. There, look at that. So, Christopher, I understand your point. You're not wrong, as it were. And if it was just Shadowrun Elf, I would agree with you. However, it's not just a Shadowrun Elf. It is a specific Shadowrun Elf. And as such, I want to at least be close. But regardless, the only guidance I'm being is so right, but so very, very wrong. No, I mean, it's like let me put it in a G.I. Joe term. It's like painting Blowtorch in blue and gray. Yeah, now you're probably going to come back and be, well, in actuality, in this variant of Blowtorch, they did blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know you're going to do it. But, let's just say for the sake of argument, it's a classic first appearance Blowtorch figure. You would No, and I understand repaints and I understand variants, but again, it's all context. Like with these super old school miniatures, especially of these named characters, I just want to have them, a little, we'll say, closer to accurate. Not that I have to, I just... It's what my brain wants to do. You'll never guess what happened. Did you go searching for the blowtorch in blue and gray? Weirdo. And if you found him, I was gonna say, if you found him, I was gonna laugh. If you say you broke your miniature, I'm not painting you another one unless you win. Again. Sinbad fell off your desk, and how bad is the damage? I'm not laughing at you, Chris. I'm just laughing because I guessed it. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Is his dagger intact? That's the real question. I hope his dagger is intact. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was... Oh, good. Okay. Oh my god, seriously, I feel like that miniature was cursed. It was like, it's my first miniature for the giveaway. By the way, folks, if you're a member of the channel, which is only $2 a month, by the way. Every month that we have 10 members on the first of the month, I do a drawing to pick one of the members to receive a miniature as painted by myself. So you're not getting anything amazing. Just ask Chris. He'll tell you how shoddy the workmanship is. Sorry, folks. Self-deprecating humor. It's how I roll. But I'll paint. I'll print, and it's just 3D printed. So I'm not like going broke on it, but we'll figure out a miniature that you like. And we'll paint you up a miniature if you're the winner. It's only one a month. Hungar keeps gifting memberships. Which I am very grateful for. But he keeps gifting memberships because he wants to win one. Like I keep getting tempted. It's like, should I just award one to Hungar 1 month?
Darn, I'm gonna rage quit instead.
Because of how many memberships that he's gifted on the channel? Or should I just, or would that take the fun out of it and winning it, quote unquote, properly? So I haven't decided. I don't want to jinx it. All right. So, because she's going to have white hair, I think I'm just going to give her a gray. She's got like a little t-shirt in here, so we're just going to give her a gray t-shirt. No, I like Hungar too, but like, so he's been very generous and he keeps gifting memberships because he wants to make sure that there's at least 10 members so that he can win one of the miniatures. And like I debate, it's like, well, I could quote unquote. See, that's the thing, is that there are other people that paid for it. And so if I rig it and say Hungar wins, you know, then I think that would cheapen it because I think he wants to win it. Hey, Ogre. But yeah, I think he wants to win it, and I don't want to take that away from him. So, because it's different when you win it as opposed to it's like, oh yeah, I got it, yay. What color pants should I do? She's got these like knee-high boots. Boots. And all right, I want the pant and jackets to match. Hey, Silent Mouse, haven't seen you in a while. I mean, I haven't been around in a while, but that's my fault. I think I'm gonna say screw it and go back to. All right, see you, Chris. Thank you. I was thinking about doing these in the afternoon, but I think I need to just say screw it and put these first thing in the morning like I had been doing. All right. You know what?
Chicken butt.
Chicken butt, exactly. I kind of want. So, Harlequin, I would say I went a little more black trench coat in his style. Very gray, red, white, just very much black trench coat Shadowrun. But these are 90s figures, so I kind of want some pink mohawk going on. So ogre with sequins. I think you meant sequins, not sequence. The problem is I did red and black leather on Harlequin. So I think for Aina, I kind of want some pink mohawk vibe going on. So I'm going to try this. It could totally fail. I totally understand if it fails. But I'm going to try it. And I think it'll be fun. I'm going to go with magenta. Like literal pink. Because she's got white hair. So I can't really give her the pink hair. I mean, I realize I could. But again, we already discussed that I'm trying to quote unquote be accurate. But I think the magenta leather will just be fun. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I wasn't given a whole lot of guidance on what she's supposed to look like. Like, I did just a Google search for the name and found nothing. Like, I found like a bunch of just like Shadowrun elf characters, but I didn't find any artistic depictions of Aina Dupree. That is very pink. Actually, so here's a weird thing that I'm considering doing. I might not, but I am considering it. So you'll notice the package is mostly intact. Basically, I just tore it open from the bottom and like pried them out. I'm kind of tempted to put the miniatures back in the blister when I'm done painting them. And then just keep that for display. I don't know, but I'm debating because I think it would be fun. Because like I don't really have like a play use for them. So I figure I could do that. I don't know. I kind of like this. It's definitely a weird color scheme, but I do like it. Yep, definitely gonna have to look at the pile of stuff on my floor after I end the stream and go to the used bookstore again. Flame on. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with the rocker girl pose, but yeah, it's fine. So this is actually a female character, Nerdy Ogre. This is Aina Dupree. She appears to be an elf with dark skin and white hair. That's literally the only description I found of this character. Couldn't find a picture. I mean, admittedly, it was like a minute worth of searching. So I'm not saying I've done like an exhaustive database search. I didn't reach out to my Shadowrun guy. But just put character name Shadowrun in the search box, and all the images that came up were Shadowrun elf. And most of them were white. And like I couldn't get any more of a description. Because like I think Aina Dupree is actually supposed to be I think she's supposed to be a shapeshifted dragon. Because like when I was buying the miniature, I was talking with Jason Hardy, and he mentioned that she's a dragon. At least I think he did. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And so if she's a shapeshifted dragon, well, okay, is the dark skin, is it black? Is it brown, like, you know, African skin? What are we dealing with here? And so basically just kind of the pose, kind of the shape, the hair, everything. It's like, you know what? She's got kind of a Grace Jones vibe to her. So I'm going to go with African skin. Which I think is giving some interesting contrasts. Because we got the brown skin, gray top, the pink pants and jacket. She has definitely got a style going on, that's for sure. There's also a reason that I am not a fashion designer. Yeah. You're not wrong, Ogre. You're not wrong at all. She might be on the board of the Draco Foundation, but she just wants to have fun. I mean, she's teamed up with Harlequin, for Pete's sake. All right, I will need to come back to the pink because it's probably gonna show some of the primer underneath as I go. All right, I am gonna give her. It's like we've got these little shoulder pad jobbies right here. Those are going to be quote unquote black. Boots will be black. It looks like there's some spots for some silver, so I've got some ideas on what to do with that. But we'll go for a little bit longer. But then I do have to run some errands. I've got to go back to the used bookstore because Kim wanted a book, brings it home, and she's like, oh, I have this book. Oh, I've read this book. So we don't need that book. She even tried to give it away to her book friend at church. And her book friend has the book and has read the book. So we don't need it. But then if I can take some more stuff, which A, Kim will like because it will get stuff out of the house, then B will allow me to get more of those Star Trek books and bring them into the house. I'm kind of a fan of that idea. Like, I've been struggling to find something to do for Flashback Fridays. And I think reading through, I'm looking at a whole mess of $40-year-old RPG books would fit that. Oh, speaking of flashbacks and old school games, so the same lady that I bought these miniatures from, so back when I was like 9 or 10, I got this board game for Christmas. And it was called Torpedo Run. Now, I have no idea what happened to it. But again, this was like 30-ish years ago. We anyways, my grandma got it for me for Christmas, and I thought it was cool. Now, it was part of the Milton Bradley series, which I never actually saw anything else in this series. But the Milton Bradley series of games, known as Floor Wars. So you had this like 3-foot by 4-foot game board that represented the ocean. Now, let's be honest. This game was not very complex. You would have a battleship and then 3 cruisers or destroyers or whatever. And you set those up on your side of the board. And your opponent has the same, and he sets them up on his side of the board. And all of them have these little slots, about like 1/4 inch high and about 1 inch wide. And then each player has a submarine. Now, in the submarine, there's this little cylinder where you drop these little red chips that are about 1 inch wide and 1/4 inch high. Like, obviously smaller than the slots in the boat. And so then you take, and then it's got like this little, lever that you pull it back. It's, got tension by a rubber band. The discs drop down, and then you let go, and it fires a disc, which, a torpedo at the opposing side. And the opposing side then and basically, like, if you get it into the slot, it's like on the cruiser, it's just like the little command tower, just boop. On the battleship, there's 2 command tower sections and then like 3 gun sections. But so like if you get your torpedo in the slot, that's right, I said it. I'm sorry, folks. Then it triggers whatever's connected to the slot, which again has rubber band tension and then like a little hook that comes under. And so then like the hook is attached to a tab, and if the torpedo hits the tab, it pushes it over, and then the rubber band launches the little piece off of the ship. And that game was great. It is not complex. It is not difficult. But it sorry folks, I'm trying to highlight the boobs without highlighting the boobs, you know what I mean? Just there's we'll take just so that it looks like it's, you know, like the light will catch it a little differently and be like, oh yeah, there's like that's a female there. Anyhow, so you're probably like, why did he tell us about this submarine game? What does that have to do with anything? Well, the lady that sold me these miniatures had a copy of that game. And as I complained about last time, she knows what she's got. And she wanted $80 for it. And it's just like, there's no way I can justify that, like, at all. But I did show Kim, and she laughed. She laughs. She laughs when I have like little memory flashbacks. That's a good point, Ogre. She does kind of look like Zorana. A black, not Australian Zorana. Which is like Zartan's in the Southeast American swamp. Why does he speak like an Australian? Makes no sense. Anyhow, so that would be fun to talk about for Flashback Friday, but I couldn't justify getting it. But it was fun. It was fun to at least see it in the wild. Oh, that's one thing I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to fix the palm of her hand. All right. Well, folks, I think my brain is checking out. It's starting to say, you've got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I am not focusing on... Actually, let me test something real quick. I'm not focusing on the miniatures the way I feel I should. See, I'm completely distracted because now it's like, let's test this paint if this is going to give us the gray that I want for this base, because I've got to get this figure over to Mundo. We're almost to April. And I know there's going to be a giveaway in April. So I've got to... get the February one delivered. All right, I like that. Okay. Still needs to be a bit brighter, but I'm going to do that, and then we can dry brush it up. Okay. All right. On that note, folks, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for making, my hobby time a little bit more fun. Let's see. Later today, because I'm actually going to record it after I finish this, I am going to do a review of some Rifts miniatures that I got in my Christmas surprise boxes, but I have not been able to touch yet. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to take them out of the packages. We're going to look at them. And then I'm also going to do a review of the miniatures after I've assembled them. Ogre, don't ever apologize. You are here. I appreciate your time. But I'm going to have a review of those up. I'm going to start, I've got to get a board game review done. I've got to get a role-playing review done. Thursday, I should have an interview with Grant Dalgleish about Harn. And then, and other stuff he does in the gaming industry. We'll be back on Friday for more painting. So anyways, I gotta get my act together, but otherwise, folks, regardless, I appreciate your time. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're ever picking up PDFs or anything off of Amazon, don't forget there are affiliate links down below. If you want to use those, I'd absolutely appreciate it, but there's no obligation to. But other than that, folks, I'm going to stop rambling. Have a good rest of your day, and we will talk to you next time.